Exactly, and this is what I have suggested to a few guys also, that even you don't need to do an activity yourself. Tie up with 5 B2B creators or 10 B2B creators who are available in multiple communities, your target audiences, and let them share your thought leadership within the community, and build that influence around your brand. Certainly, that would bring leads to you.
Yeah,
The other question that comes along is what you said, the attribution problem.
yeah,
You
yeah,
can't measure the sources, and in marketing analytics is analysis should be there. It must be there. Analytics is important. So at the end, that becomes a caveat for someone to invest in. So what do you suggest there? Means how is even B2B creators or influencers, which are also impacting community-led marketing, is gonna shaping up? Because the matrix is not there, or multiple reasons. So what do you think about this?
yeah. I mean, there are successful examples of organizations who have gone down that route. I think Notion, for example, is a kind of a big example there. So they have some of their own communities. So they have communities for their kind of ambassadors and kind of champions and things like that. But the actual the wider kind of Notion kind of community is kind of owned by its kind of end users. So they have large communities like 300,000 plus members, like on the on a subreddit. They have uh, multiple kind of regionally focused kind of groups on like Facebook groups and kind of other platforms where they have people are kind of creating content around kind of the Notion kind of product, kind of sharing it on platforms kind of like YouTube and TikTok, and they get a huge amount of kind of value, both kind of word of mouth, kind of like a awareness, but then also through to educational content enabling kind of activation, and kind of right through benefits kind of right through the funnel. Their approach there, though, in terms of the kind of the attribution side, is just to be kind of like kind of hands off with it, and to be like accepting of that they don't have that data, and it works for them because I think they've kind of had a huge amount of kind of organic success kind of with it, and so they're kind of happy just to kind of say like, okay, we can't measure this thing really accurately, but we kind of like feel in our guts that it's working, so let's just kind of go with it, and next not kind of tinker too much with it, or try to force through kind of ownership of these kind of different kind of groups so that they can enable tracking. They've deliberately kind of not taken that step because they want to kind of maintain that kind of trust and this kind of sense of independence that these individual kind of communities have around it. And so it can work for some businesses. I just think that most corporate cultures just wouldn't allow for that kind of like that amount of restraint, that kind of like hands-off kind of approach. Most people would be like, even with the kind of the best of intentions, be like, oh, this is working really well for us. Let's see what we can do to kind of really kind of blow this thing up, and let's kind of invest in it and build a team, and then that by kind of extension naturally wants then to kind of get better tracking and better kind of attribution, so they can understand kind of the returns there. And it kind of just changes the dynamic that they have with those kind of creators and community members. And ultimately, I don't think would have been kind of as successful. But you need that kind of the kind of the founder buy-in, the exec buy-in, the kind of the belief in kind of the wider team that this is a useful thing to do it kind of in absence of kind of that data. And most organizations, I don't think, could sustain that kind of long